Hi, parents. I hope you're having a very Merry Christmas. Despite our situation in this country, I still hope you're having a very wonderful and Merry Christmas. I know mine has been very good, and I'm wishing you blessings going into the new year. I'm going to make a series of very short videos. I know I say they'll be short. This one's I'm thinking will be short. I'm going to focus here on COVID-19 and the college admission process, the enrollment process, the college choice process should be very short. I'm hearing a lot of things from you and in the media, and I'm concerned about how they're hitting you and your thoughts about college. Let's go ahead and take a look at something I prepared for you. This is from our meeting we had last week. I know we only had about a handful of people that came, and I thought this was one of the most important parts of the meeting. First of all, vaccines for COVID-19 have been delivered in record time. I mean, no matter what you think about the 45th president, Trump, I know a lot of you can't stand him and hate him and all that, but that was pretty much an achievement by the administration. They started in May, got the thing done. They did all the testing and all the trials were done in parallel rather than stretching it out over years. And they spent some money to do that, but over 130,000 people were injected in that period with the drugs with no deadly conditions. Any rumors of that are not true. There have been some minor effects of it, et cetera. I might get to say a word about that because you might be wondering what I'm going to do. But first responders and medical personnel are getting it first. Various others, like those with weakened immune systems, will get it shortly, but also the elderly and those in elderly homes. Now, there are people like me who think that they should have gave it first to the workers in elderly and nursing homes. The skilled nursing homes should have got it first and then gone to the emergency workers and others. But never minding all that, we're getting there anyway. Now, just to remind you, the Pfizer version and the other version, like AstraZeneca, I can't remember the other one. Those are the ones that had to be super cool and take 2 shots. But Moderna just came out this week, delivered 50 million of those, by the way. They're a room temperature, 1-shot vaccine. I'll go ahead and tell you that's the one I'd like to take because also the science of how it was made and what's the components of it. I feel it's more organic. If you want me to answer that, just email me some other time. College students will not have access to the vaccine until fall, and we're hoping for that. Will college students be required to take the vaccine? Notice the question we are debating is, can we be forced to take it, or can it be mandated, or even what if I have a spiritual objection to vaccination? But I think those are the wrong questions. Here's the right question, everybody. Look at this. What will you do if participation in society is conditioned on taking the vaccine? Now, what will you do then is actually an excellent question. And I think the answer is going to be you're going to take the vaccine. Like if your employer says you have to take it, or to go to a social outing or an event, or to have dinner in a restaurant, they could make those laws. You might be wondering, is that legal? Well, let's look at the legal history of mandated vaccines. Let's see if we can determine that. Well, there actually was a Supreme Court case. It was around whether the federal government could do it, but let me tell you what they decided. This is Jacobson versus Massachusetts. If you want to look it up, 197 U.S. 1905 was a United States Supreme Court case in which the court upheld the authority of the states to enforce compulsory vaccination laws. All right? The court's decision articulated the view that the individual liberty is not absolute and is subject to police power of the state. So it sounds like an individual state, county, or city government could require you to take it. And I think that will mean, private folks will, and other commercial people will require you to take it. This was a ruling regarding a smallpox vaccine. The Spanish flu, which is most like what we have now, was solved with organic herd immunity and not vaccine herd immunity at all. So they just waited it out with no lockdowns. It took about 2 years and herd immunity biologically developed. Vaccines really just help herd immunity, right? Nearly all legal authorities agree that the governors of states can and most will require vaccination which will lead to schools and even private companies requiring it. So you can see that doesn't matter the question we asked earlier, do you want to take it and all that. I think in order to participate in society, they're going to make you take it and you're going to end up having to take the vaccine. So it's time to start thinking that way about the vaccine, especially students. I feel they're really going to require you to take it, even though you're at least at risk in our society, they're going to require you to take it. Will there be appeals to the courts? Probably so. I mean, they can't drag you out of your house and put a spike in your arm. This is America. So there may be some court cases, but I think that the courts have been pretty clear on that, on the legal side of this. I hope that makes that clear. Will CSU students be 100% on campus and in dorms? Because I think that 70% of you will look at CSU this year for cost reasons and being in your home at this time and other reasons. So what about CSU? Okay. CSU made a statement on this last week because they were concerned about the low amount of applications they're receiving. Remember, that was an earlier video I did on the schools that have extended being open, right? For applications, about 14 of the CSUs still are open. California State University, the headline says, California State University anticipates return to in-person coursework for fall 2021 term. Okay. Here's in the article, California State University has announced that it's planning for an anticipated. So if I anticipate I'm coming over to your house, I still may not come over, right? They didn't say they were, they said it's anticipated. It means they might start some planning. Return to delivering courses primarily in person, but didn't say there wouldn't be online classes. Didn't say if freshmen were separated from this. None of that was said in the article, starting with fall 2021. So really, CSU is still not decided fully on how they're going to do this, even though there's going to be a vaccine. While we are currently going through a very difficult surge in the pandemic, there is light at the end of the tunnel with the promising progress seen on vaccines. So it seems like they're leaning toward vaccines being an answer for students and anticipate students being required to get vaccinations to be on campus. And they may allow you to be home for one more semester, but I don't see them at all allowing students to stay home past spring of 2022. We're approaching planning for the fall 2021 term with the goal, of having the majority of our on-campus experiences returning. Didn't say anything about dormitories, did they? Nothing was said about dorms here. Nothing was said about athletics here. So I think this is a very tepid statement by CSU as far as them being open for fall. Other colleges have not stated if they'll be open in any way for fall 2020, and that includes local privates, UCs, although this could change. Keep asking your preferred colleges if they're taking steps to be open if they're currently closed, if the campuses are closed. Remember the politics of all this. Look at the inclination and the politics of your governor. That's what's going to tell you whether you'll be open or not. Here are our thoughts on it. Not enough is being done to push safe, approved treatments and antiviral preventatives. There are plenty of drugs that are allowed in other states that do seem to prevent it and help with treatment of it, and certain third world countries and other world countries that are using certain, like ivermectin, I think it's called, and erythromycin, cocktails of those drugs, and other drugs are being used who are already approved by the FDA and are safe. And I think some of you know that zinc and vitamin C, which I'm taking, and vitamin D, I'm taking a tablet with all those in it once a day. I was it twice. That those are all effective to prevent infection. And then if you get infected, to prevent you from being intubated, go to the ICU. That's what you want to do. You want to stay out of the ICU. The politics of safety in the healthcare system prevent pre-ICU strategies. There's a certain amount of politics that if you mention some pre-ICU strategies, they accuse you of being an anti-vaxxer. I'm certainly not an anti-vaxxer at all. In fact, I plan on taking the Moderna vaccine. As I said earlier, I am type 2 diabetic, but I'm under sugar control, so I'm not really in an at-risk group. But I will take the Moderna version because the Moderna version is not an RNA type drug. It's a very organic use of a drug that I think has been proven, and I think I'm going to take that one. We're sending too many people home without treatment right now, in my opinion. There's no treatment strategy, and 12% of those patients end up returning not just to the doctor but to the ICU. Then you go to the ICU, there's a 23% chance, of dying in the ICU. So because we just don't have approval in California for preventative treatments, I'm actually going to convene a panel of students to help me study it. I want to write a letter to the governor recommending that he push the AMA to allow treatment in the state like they're doing in other states. And I think it will be very helpful to our situation pending the vaccine because we can't wait and see all these deaths while the vaccine is readily available. All right, I hope that all helps. That's kind of where we are right now on this whole business of COVID. I hope that helped. And we look forward to seeing you in one of our sessions very soon. Give me some feedback on this video. I hope it was helpful. God bless you. And again, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't get to tell you before that. Bye-bye now.